Good day, Dr. Craig and Trujillo.
And to our panelists, Dr. Jean Haff, Dr. Leah Haff, and Dr. Jocelyn Cole.
I am Peregrina F. Caro.
And I am Justine U. Kadusale, and we are going to present to you our research proposal. I will be presenting the first half of our research proposal to be followed by my partner, Mrs. Peregrina F. Caro. To start with, here is our title. A research on the education during the pandemic. An early childhood education teacher's perception on the use of modules as learning materials for public schools in the division of Dumaguete City, an action plan. These are the contents for this presentation. Along with the other countries, our country, the Philippines, has been greatly affected by the coronavirus disease. The COVID-19 pandemic has created the largest disruption of education system in the human history, affecting nearly 1.6 billion learners in more than 200 countries. Closure of schools, institutions, and other learning spaces have impacted more than 94% of the world's student population. The reopening of classes despite the pandemic has been the subject of many debates. It's no secret that remote learning poses a lot of challenges for many Filipino students. Many lost their livelihoods due to the pandemic, and one of the unique ways that the Department of Education thought of is by offering different schemes to impart knowledge to students based on their capacity or existing assets. For students with no gadgets, the idea of using modules as learning materials instead of going to online class is the solution. Modular learning is the most popular type of distance learning in the Philippines. This learning modality is currently used by all public schools because, according to a survey conducted by the DepEd or Department of Education, learning through printed and digital modules emerged as the most preferred distance learning method of parents with children who are enrolled this academic year. This is also in consideration of the learners in rural areas where internet is not accessible for online learning. With the challenges faced by the Department of Education in the Philippines and its teachers during the pandemic, the researchers decided to focus on the study determining early childhood education teachers' perception on the use of modules as learning materials in public elementary schools in Dumaguete City. The perception towards the use of modules includes the preparation of the module, the distribution and retrieval, the content of the modules, the time allocated, and the health protocols followed during the pandemic as these teachers embrace the new normal in the teaching field. Next up would be our statement of the problem. Teachers play a vital role during the pandemic. They served as instruments for children to continue learning amidst the presence of COVID-19. And with that, the emergence of modules used as learning materials came to life. However, it does not come handy and easy. In connection, the study aims to determine the perception of ECE teachers towards the use of modules to teach our kindergarten pupils. And now, these are the specific problems that will be answered at the end of the study. One is, what is the profile of the ECE teachers according to age, sex, numbers of years in teaching? Number 2, what are the ECE teachers' perception towards the use of modules as learning strategy? In terms of preparation of modules, distribution, retrieval, activities and general content of the modules, time allocation, and health protocols. Third, what are the ECE teachers' perception towards the effect using modules as learning materials and the observance of work and life balance? And fourth, what implication can be driven? An action plan can be designed based on the findings of the study. The significance of this study. The significance of the study discusses and presents the benefits of the study when published. So this includes the benefits it gives to people and other institutions. People and institutions benefited are presented here. First, we have the respondents. Respondents get benefited for they will be aware and knowledgeable of how other teachers view the issues on using modules as a learning material, and therefore, they are able to share methods and techniques on how to overcome those issues and concerns. Then, the school administrator. The study does not focus only on the module, but the preparation, distribution, and retrieval of the learning materials. With that, the school administrators are benefited for they get enough knowledge on how teachers had been doing during the mentioned processes, and if there are problems, concerns, and issues, they can use the study as basis on taking actions to those concerns. The government. The government gets benefited in a way similar to that of the school administrators. The government can use the study as basis on making changes or making action plans on concerns raised up by teachers on the said topic. Their action plans may be for the basis on the content of modules or the process of preparing and making it or any potential issues that needs to be addressed. The future researchers. As soon as the study will be published, it can be used by others or future researchers with similar topics as reference. Future researchers can use the study as an added literature or study review for their thesis. And, of course, the researcher. The researchers are also benefited for they become knowledgeable on how to make a thesis that is also useful, as soon as their immediate heads will require them to do one for their school. Making a thesis also helps researchers build the right attitude of being bias-free or a critical thinker. And now we go to the scope and limitations of this study. The study focuses on determining the perception of the early childhood education teachers on using modules as learning material during this pandemic. The study includes the preparation of the modules, the distribution, the retrieval, activities and general content of the modules, time allocations, and the health protocols. The study is conducted in Dumaguete City, and the respondents are all public elementary ECE teachers within Dumaguete City Division. Next would be our operational definition of terms, where we present and define the words or set of words that are commonly used, and they are defined as to how they are used in the study. First, we have the word action plan. It refers to the output produced after the study is made to address issues and concerns on using modules as a learning material for kindergarten students during the pandemic. ECE teachers. This refers to the respondents of the study that teaches kindergarten students within the Dumaguete City Division. Health protocols refers to the step-by-step process by which every teacher and parents have to follow during this pandemic when they produce, distribute, and retrieve modules. Health restrictions refers to the list of things that are not allowed to do during the pandemic inside a school premises. Modules refers to the learning materials used during the pandemic, that is, the center of concern of the study conducted. Module distribution refers to the process where ECE teachers distribute the modules through door-to-door process or through the school. Module preparation refers to the process of content making and module printing. Module retrieval refers to the process of getting back answered modules from the students or parents so that modules will be reviewed by the teachers. And lastly, perception. It refers to the views of the ECE teachers on selected concerns or issues in using modules as a learning material for kindergarten pupils.
Good day. I am Peregrina F. Caro. I will present to you the remaining slides. Theoretical background. The theoretical background are existing theories that the study can be anchored with. For this study, there are three theories considered: social cognitive theory, theory of reason action, and the classical conditioning theory. Social cognitive theory. In relation to the study, the cognitive factors refers to the innate knowledge of the teachers on how a module works as a learning material during the pandemic. Social cognitive theory. In relation to the study, the cognitive factors refers to the innate knowledge of the teachers on how a module works as a learning material during the pandemic. Environmental factors can include the views and opinions that can be gathered through the study with the existing rules and regulations set forth by Department of Education, and the behavioral factors can include the ability of the teachers to complete the task in preparing, distributing, and retrieving the modules. This infers that these factors can affect in developing an action plan for the study. The next theory is the theory of reasoned action. In relation to the study of the attitude towards the behavior is relatable to the perception of the ECE teachers towards all the aspects in using module as a learning material. The ECE teachers' attitude includes their perception, results of using modules from the preparation, distribution, retrieval, concerns of the content, and time management. Subjective norm is relatable to other ECE teachers' perception and approval on the use of modules as a learning material. These factors are vital in order for the researchers to develop a concrete action plan for the study. The last theory is classical conditioning theory. In this study, if respondents are conditioned with external stimulus on how the module works and their experience, it creates a condition in their minds that using module can either be useful, beneficial, effective, or not. This conditioned mindset of the teachers can result to the increase or decrease of their satisfaction and performance. With that, an action plan shall be developed to address concerns about the existing system. Next is the conceptual framework. The conceptual framework presents the flow of the work to find the best answers to the statement of the problem mentioned on the previous page. Conceptual framework. The researcher's main goal is to determine early childhood education teachers' perception on using modules as learning materials. In order to gather the needed information, the researchers conduct a survey. The results of the collection of the data will then be interpreted. Any concerns or issues seen after will be included in the action plan. The action plan provides a detailed recommendation on what to do to address issues and concerns. The action plan will then be used to help improve the existing system. Review of related literature. The review of related literature shows the different sources and readings with information that is beneficial to complete the study. Review of related literature for the following: module as learning materials, module preparation, module distribution and retrieval, activities and general content of the modules, health protocols. Modules as learning materials. Learning modules are printed or non-printed materials that guide both teachers and learners through the content and the learning activities for subject matter. For example, subject matter modules in text or in video format, IELTS or ESC, and book for implementers. Modular learning is the most popular type of distance learning. In the Philippines, this learning modality is currently used by all public schools because according to a survey conducted by the Department of Education or DepEd, learning through printed or digital modules emerged as the most preferred distance learning method for parents with children who are enrolled in this academic year. This is also consideration of the learners in rural areas where internet is not accessible for online learning. Module preparation. In preparing for modules, the Department of Education identifies each personnel, together with the education program supervisors, prepared modules starting in May 2020 in all subjects for all grade or year level across 4 quarters in accordance with the most essential learning competencies or MELC. The self-learning modules are already considered learning packages containing pre-test, discussion, and a series of evaluation or assessment. They are distributed to all learners with a modular learning class schedule. The class will guide the learners on what subjects and modules we have to study and learn for the particular week. Module distribution and retrieval. There may be a lot of ways to distribute the modules, but the Department of Education is still facing the problems in distributing and retrieving modules, most especially in those areas where there are high cases of positive COVID-19. The Department of Education or DepEd, Division of Anteke, has temporarily canceled its distribution and retrieval of modules due to the surge in cases of coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19 in the province. Due to the rising cases of COVID-19 in the province of Antique and in support to the appeal of the health officials of the province and the DepEd Schools Division of Antique cancels the distribution of modules last April 2021. DepEd teachers were directed to adopt a work-from-home scheme during the 2-week courtesy lockdown. Activities and general content. In an incident, Pining Garcia, Malu 1, Abdul Salsalani, and Tina Moran are the names used in a test item in a module. For blended learning, the learning materials is meant for philosophy class for senior high school students under the distance learning program. In response an association of Catholic schools in Zambales, where the module was distributed and apologized. It promised to rectify the unintended error and prevent similar oversight from happening again. Health protocols. The top of education officials in Central Visayas assured that health and safety protocols are observed in the distribution of modules to the learners. Department of Education or DepEd Region 7 Regional Director Salustiano Jimenez said he made sure that schools in the 19 divisions in the region follow the basic health standards imposed by the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases and the Department of Health. He said, parents claiming the self-learning modules, or SLM, are advised not to bring their children inside the school premises. Methodology. The methodology discusses the research design, research environment, research respondents, research instrument, data gathering procedure, and the statistical tools used. Research design. The quantitative design will be used in the study. The researchers will be collecting data as to the population of public elementary school teachers in Dumaguete City. All ECE teachers will be given a questionnaire to answer since there are only few of them in the division. The researchers will be collecting data through conducting a survey. Data collected with a statistical treated to arrive at the needed information. All information will be presented on a tabular forms with corresponding interpretations. Research instrument. The research instrument of the study is a survey questionnaire. The survey questionnaire is composed of two parts. The first part is focused on asking for the profile of the respondents, which includes age, sex, and number of years in teaching. The second part is focused on asking the research questions, which includes the perception of the respondents regarding the use of modules as learning materials, focusing on the module preparation, distribution of the module, retrieval of the module, activities and general content of the modules, time allocation, and the health protocols. In addition, questions asking for the respondents, perceptions towards the effect of using module as learning materials, and the observance of work and life balance is included. Research environment. Dumaguete City is the chosen research environment since this is the most accessible environment for the researchers and is convenient since the researchers are well acquainted with the public ECE teachers in the city. Research respondents. The research respondents of the study are the public ECE teachers in Dumaguete City. As you would observe, the researchers are not computing for sample size anymore, since the population of a public ECE teachers is already small. In this table, you can see the names of school and each corresponding number of ECE teachers, which is in total of 47, and there are 18 schools in public elementary under the division of Dumaguete City. Data gathering procedure. The data gathering procedure starts with the preparation stage. During this stage, the researchers will have to develop a survey questionnaire. The survey questionnaire will have to be checked and approved by the research advisor, statisticians, and other experts to improve and remove confusing questions. As soon as the survey has been approved, the researchers will have to develop an online survey so that distributing it will be easier. Stage 2 comes next, which is the distribution stage. During this part, the researchers will send the link of ECE teachers of their schools. The researchers will have to advise the respondents to answer the survey question properly. During this stage, the researchers will have to follow up those teachers whom they sent the link of the survey. As soon as the number of responses has been arrived, the researchers will close the receiving link of the online survey. The last stage is stage 4, the interpretation stage. From the online survey, a summarized version of the result is generated. At this stage, the researcher will transfer the data to an Excel file and have it plotted on the table form. Then interpretations are added. Statistical treatment. According to art.journal.org, there are several statistical tools that a researcher can use. However, the statistical tools used in the study includes the percentage and weighted mean only. The purpose of using percentage is to determine a part from a whole. On the other hand, the weighted mean is used to compute the weighted response of the respondents over a certain topic. The weighted mean is interpreted through the use of 5 points Likert scale. The Likert scale contains the range of the weighted mean and its corresponding verbal description. For this study, the following measures will be used. For elaboration about the tools we will be using in this study, we have an example for percentage computation. In the first part of our survey questionnaire, which is the profile of early childhood education teachers in public schools of primary education under the division of Dumaguete City. There are 47 ECE teachers as respondents under the Dumaguete City division. Percentage equals number of response every range of age divided by 47, the total number of respondents, and multiply by 100. In this example, assuming that in the age range 25 to 30 years old, there are 20 responses out of 47 respondents is equal to 43%. In the range of 31 to 35 years old, 15 responses out of 47 is equal to 32%. In the range of 36 to 40 years old, 10 responses out of 47 is equivalent to 21%. And last, above 40 years old, we have 2 responses out of 47, which is 4%, with a total of 100%. Example for weighted mean computation. Weighted mean is equal to the summation of frequency times weight divided by sample size. In the second part of our survey questionnaire, one of the statements is teachers have enough background on the proper module making. In the range of 5, we assume 10 responses. In the range of 4, we have 15 responses. In the range of 3, we have 20 responses. In the range of 2, we have 2 responses. And in the range of 1, 0 responses. Our frequency times weight is equal to 174 divided by the number of respondents, 47. Our weighted mean is equal to 3.7 with a verbal description of agree from Likert scale.
And that is the end of the presentation of our research proposal.
Thank you very much for watching our video.